Happy Monday. This is James Himm Mitchell, your intuitive guidance counselor, here with your week in tarot. So if you watched my previous videos, you know that I take the tarot deck, and today we're going to be using the original Rider Waite Tarot, and I take it and I divide it into three piles. The first pile covers what will be the theme of the week, and we will use the 22 major arcana cards for that. The second pile consists of the 16 court cards, which are the pages, the knights, the queens, and the kings in tarot. And they're going to be the card that tarot is asking us to consider as a way to approach the theme of the week. And then the last pile has remaining minor arcana cards, and that's going to show us, if we adopt the approach that tarot is asking us, what would be the probable or likely outcome. So having said that, I'm going to take the first pile, which is the theme. I'm going to shuffle the cards. And I'm going to turn over the top card. Okay. Now the first card is the Death card. So now, for those who are new to tarot, the Death card does not mean physical death. It is one of the few cards in tarot that I call the freak out cards, and this is one of them because it's the most misunderstood card in the deck. Death just represents that the theme of the week is that we're going to be moving through a process of great change. Things are going to be ending, and on the flip side of that, things are also going to be beginning. So you can't have a beginning without an ending. So the theme of this week is things coming to their natural state of completion. It's about being willing to let go of the past so you can move on. It's about transitions, transformations, things of that nature. So it's just urging us to really think about, when we say that we want a situation to change, are we really committed to the process of change? Because certain things need to fall away in order for those changes that we say we want to come about. So it's asking us to really be mindful of the change. And here's another thing about change. Sometimes we look at change as an external process, like we want people to change or circumstances to change. But really, the process of change really is about ourselves and how we can change. So it's about what ideas, beliefs, thought patterns need to change in order for you to see the change that you want to see in your world. It starts with you. I know that sounds trite, it's a cliche, but change really begins with you. So what are you willing to change about yourself in order to see those changes that you want to see in your external environment? So that's our theme card. Now, our approach card. Is the Knight of Cups. Okay, so now it's very funny that when I talked about here with the Death card about the process of being committed to change. The Knight of Cups is a wonderful fellow. He is the idealist of all the knights in tarot. He's the dreamer. He's the one who loves the idea of whatever it is. So in this case, he loves the idea of change. His problem, though, is that he can be so in love with the idea that he really doesn't take any action on it. So when I talk about commitment, he's committed in his words, but his deeds don't line up with that. So if we're really going to be committed to the process of change, like I said here, then we need to see how we're going to follow through on that. It's not just about giving lip service. It's not about loving the idea. You have to also love the actions that go along with that. So this card is also about, putting your imagination to work, because he's very imaginative. Putting your imagination to work. So kind of, visualize, the changes that you want to see. You could start by, daily visualizing the end result. So whatever it is that you want to see change, start by seeing the change in your mind. And cups being the suit that rules our heart, our feelings, our emotions, how does that change make you feel? In the law of attraction teachings, it talks about not just having the thought, but having the corresponding feeling, it's a better feeling thought, quoting Abraham. So what thoughts are going to make you feel better? And then it's having the thought and the emotion line up to create the manifestation. So that's our approach. And now, looking at what the most likely outcome will be. Ooh, this is great. Okay, this is the Three of Wands. Now, Wands is the suit of inspiration, motivation, intention, and action. And it's very interesting that we have another wand here, because in my previous video we also had a wand here in the outcome position. So what I said was, then it's not enough just to have the intention, going back to Nine of Cups, loving the idea. This card is also about what actions would you need to have that would help the intention. So now the Three of Wands is about looking ahead to the future. So that whole idea about visualization was wonderful, because this card is about having a vision. So what's the vision? What mental picturing are you having in your head about this change that you want to see happen? And then this card is also about what tools or resources do you have that are going to support you, because this card is also about support. And so we give support, but we also need support. So if you're the type of person who's always giving support to others, well, now this is your time to stop and reflect on how other people can be supportive of you. And here's the thing about support. You also have to find the people who are willing to support whatever it is that you want to change. Sometimes when we want to make changes, there are people around us who aren't on board with the changes because they have been conditioned to having you and the experience of you being the way you are. And so sometimes people are threatened by change. So you have to be with people who are going to be supporting the changes that you want to make. So again, this card is about having a vision. It's also about looking ahead, and that the prospects of whatever it is that you're looking ahead to are going to be wonderful. You know, I'm going to be dating myself here, but there's an old song from the 80s that says that the future's so bright, I gotta wear shades. That's what this card reminds me of. It's like the future really, really looks good. So again, this is about support. It's about having a vision, but it's also about being willing to explore other options. And that may be where the change needs to come in. You can't change things if you're always approaching it the same way you've always done, because you're only going to get the same result. So this card is asking you to be willing to explore other options. So, summarizing, going through a process of change, you can love the idea of change, but you also have to be committed to following through. And then this last card here, the Three of Wands, is also about having a vision, so visualizing the changes that you want to make, having a good support system around you, and be willing to explore other options. So that's your week in tarot. I hope you have a good week,